TFL EV is brought to you by Flow Charger, maker of reliable, high-quality charging stations for your electric vehicle.
In this video, we're going to find out how wheels and tires affect range. Behind me are two Ford F-150 Lightnings, the all-electric F-150. And Andre, where are we going?
Well, we're going to drive over 160 miles today in both trucks. We're starting here in Longmont, Colorado. We're going to go to Fort Morgan, a little bit of city driving, also a lot of highway driving as well.
A few days ago, I ran this blue Ford F-150 Lightning Lariat, our long-term Lightning, on the exact same loop we are going today. Now, the truck was completely stock on the 20-inch wheels with the tires that it came from the factory with. And check out those results now. Well, now we are back at the exact same spot. We are charging to the same percentage. We're going to start both trucks at 90%, just like we did with this truck in that previous test. It's basically the same weather conditions too, right around 80 degrees Fahrenheit, not much wind. And Andre's going to introduce what tires we have now on this blue F-150 because we swapped them out and what we're comparing it against.
If you own a pickup truck, you probably like changing tires. You like to increase their size or their aggressiveness, and this is exactly what we're doing here with a long-term Lightning. We chose this BF Goodrich Trail Terrain CA tire. It's the stock size actually on a 20-inch stock wheel, but it's more aggressive. It's more meant for off-road driving, and this truck is going to Alaska. So this is the tire we chose for that long trip, but we want to know, can we still go the same distance on this tire? We'll find out. This lone vehicle is a Lightning Platinum, top-of-the-line truck, which also means it has an extended range battery, of course four-wheel drive. The same powertrain as in the blue truck, but it has this, a 22-inch wheel with a stock from the factory General Grabber HTS tire. And the government and Ford rates this setup for the Platinum truck at a maximum range of 300 miles versus 320 miles on a standard Lightning. So that's why we're here testing a truck as well to find out what it is in the real world. Okay, there you have it. The red truck is also at 90% state of charge. Nice. Okay, so at 90% charge in the Platinum, it says I have 284 miles of range remaining. Let me reset my trip meter and go on our standard loop.
So we are sitting at 90% state of charge. The Lightning is predicting 281 miles of range. Of course, that's going to depend a little bit based on your driving habits. But what isn't going to depend based on your driving habits is the percent of charge, which they're both at 90%. So let's go see what they do.
All right, Tommy, so we are starting the loop. Once again, just over 160 miles. I am in normal mode. My climate control system is set at 70 degrees. Air conditioning, it is a warm day. How about you?
I'll go ahead and put the same settings in, so normal mode on the drive modes, 70 degrees auto, and yeah, we're just going to take the same loop that we did in this blue Lightning with the stock wheels and tires. We started at the same battery percentage, so it should be a great test to see not only how do all-terrains affect the range, but how do those big wheels on that Platinum affect the range.
Absolutely, dude. And also, we're following all speed limits. So if the speed limit says 60 like it does now, we'll follow that. If it says 75 on the highway, we will follow that as well.
Now, when we ran this test the first time, we used 54% of the battery
to go this route. How much percentage of the battery do you think we're going to use on these two trucks now that we have the off-road tires, or on that red truck with the big wheels?
Well, it has to be less efficient, right?
But we're trying to find out exactly how it affects it. Gosh, I would say it shouldn't be more than 60% of range to go 164-ish miles, but we'll find out.
So stock Lariat was 54. I'm going to say that Lariat with the all-terrains is going to be 65% of the battery. It's going to be quite a bit less efficient, and I'm going to guess that that red truck is going to be right at 60% of the battery. So we'll just have to wait and see.
So you're going pessimistic on me, huh?
Yeah, no, let's talk about the range rating.
So in stock configuration, this Lariat is rated at about 320 miles according to the EPA on a single charge. And what is that Platinum rated at?
Yeah, and that rating is for an extended battery, of course, which we have. And the Platinum truck, the luxury truck, is rated at 300 miles of range according to the EPA. So you're not losing a heck of a lot according to the government with the bigger wheels and tires, but we'll see.
And it's also worth noting that both of these trucks have the same 131 kilowatt hour battery. We are both in one pedal drive mode, and weight-wise, that red truck might be ever so slightly heavier because it is slightly more kitted out. You know, you've got like the massaging seats, but they're pretty similar. We both have the big sunroofs, we both have leather everywhere, we both have heated and cooled seats, we both have the big screens everywhere, so it's not all that different in terms of the weight.
That's right, but I also have propulsion sound, Tommy, which kind of pipes into the interior a little bit of a hum as I'm driving.
Yeah, I have no need or want for that.
But yeah, dude, we weighed the blue truck at the scales with factory tires at 6,800 pounds curb weight, 50-50 brake weight distribution. This Lightning, according to the stickers, the Platinum weighs a little bit more, maybe 6,900 pounds.
But probably within about 100 pounds of each other.
Yeah, totally.
All right, well, we're about to hit the highway. Let's do some cruising, and we'll see what happens.
All right, so we did some slightly slower highway driving, so between about 60 to 65-ish rural highways and a little bit of city driving. And Tommy, now it's time to get on an interstate.
So Andre, we measure efficiency in miles per kilowatt hour. What are you sitting at right now as we get on the highway?
Well, after approximately 31.7 miles of travel, I am showing 2.3 miles per kilowatt hour.
So my truck over the exact same distance is reading 31.9, but I'm also reading 2.3 miles per kilowatt hour.
Aha! So I'm at 80%, so I used 10% of my battery.
I'm also at 80%, also 10%. So currently it looks like these two are pretty neck and neck, Andre.
So could it be that an all-terrain tire is equivalent to big 22s?
That's what it's looking like. Now, of course, this Blue Lightning is on the same wheel that we ran the first test on. So we haven't changed the wheels around. They're still the 20-inch aerodynamic style wheels that came on this Ford. And they're kind of an interesting wheel design, a little bit unusual for sure. So now we're getting on the interstate. We're going to set the cruise control at 75 miles an hour. We're going to enable Blue Cruise, which is the hands-off driver assistance package. And we're just going to keep going toward Fort Morgan and see if that efficiency drops. Both of these trucks are sitting at 2.3 miles per kilowatt hour. Of course, higher speeds are a negative in an EV. EVs are more efficient kind of the slower you go, and especially around town, they don't use a lot of energy at all. But when you start cruising along at highway speeds, things can start to take a nosedive. So we'll see what we're at the turnaround point.
Yep, got 10-4, so I'm gonna set my Blue Cruise, and it's enabled. Look at me. I am just dancing with my hands in the air.
Yep, this Lariat has that as well. Pretty cool stuff. All right, we are at the turnaround point. There's a little McDonald's here we stop at. That's kind of our tradition. It's right off the highway. And then we're gonna swing back and go back toward Longmont. Andre, what are you averaging?
Well, dude, so we went, 50 miles-ish on the highway, a little bit less, and I'm at 2.2 miles per kilowatt hour. I'm actually pretty surprised. 2.2 is a little bit better than I expected.
What about your percentage?
I'm at 64%, so I used 26% of my battery.
Oh, it's a close one. So I am sitting at 2.2 miles per kilowatt hour. I'm at 63%, so I've only used 1% more than you have. So we're at this little McDonald's where we always stop and get some lunch. We're going to stop and get some lunch and then keep rolling back toward Longmont.
Well, you know, didn't quite expect this. I thought this big 22 is going to be actually less efficient than it is. But hey, I'll take it so far.
Andre, now, the wheel diameter on these trucks are different. So I've got a 20-inch wheel, you have a 22, but the tire diameter should be pretty similar. However, our trip computers, even on the exact same route, say we've gone different distances. So how far is yours predicting, or is yours saying?
Well, yeah, so my Platinum is right now saying 79.6 miles traveled.
And my Lariat is saying 80.2 miles traveled, so a slight discrepancy there, even though we reset at the same spot and have been on the same route. So very interesting. Now, of course, these BF Goodrich tires, even though the numbers on the side indicate that they're the same size as the all-season grabber we took off of them, in reality, they might be ever so slightly different, right? Because some tire manufacturers do their measurements just a little bit differently. But the real interesting thing is going to be when we're back at the pump.
Yeah, totally. And we'll see how, obviously, high speed and low speed affects these tires. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Do these trucks have any active aero, Andre? Do they lower themselves down on the highway, or is there any kind of active aero?
Yes. Well, the suspension doesn't change height, and it's not, technically adjusting the damping, but there's an active chin. The chin comes down at above about 45 miles an hour, makes the truck a little bit more aerodynamic.
Pretty cool, and that's the same for the Lariat and the Platinum, right?
Yes, and actually all other F-150s have the same chin.
There you have it. All right, very cool.
All right, so I can almost see our destination, Tommy. The place we left from, our charging station. What's your percent state of charge now?
Well, as a quick reminder, running this exact truck with the stock all-season tires, we showed up at the charger with 36% remaining, and right now I'm sitting at 30% remaining, and we're not quite at the chargers. Oh, it just jumped down to 29%. So certainly less efficient with these off-road tires on it.
I am sitting in my Platinum here. I'm sitting at 31%. So it is true, those all-terrains are affecting your range greatly.
Well, 1 or 2% worse than the 22s on that Platinum over the course of like 160 some miles. So you do definitely see a hit, but the bigger hit is between the all-terrains on the 20-inch wheels and the all-seasons on the 20-inch wheels. That's a pretty noticeable difference. And we had a very similar day in terms of weather. It was hot today, it was hot the previous day. Wind patterns were pretty similar, so it's pretty apples to apples. But yeah, it looks like I'm going to pull another charger with 29% remaining, so I used a total of 61% of my battery to go 160 miles. It's a pretty big hit over the course of our trip.
All right, let's calculate the exact numbers.
All right, sounds good.
So here's my official result in the Platinum with 22s, 2.0 miles per kilowatt hour, 80 miles left. I went, according to this, 158 miles, but I think we went a little bit more. And here's my percentage. 31% remaining, 80 miles of range left.
So you can see there, 2 miles per kilowatt hour average. Just under 3 hours to do that trip, 159.2 miles. And if we go here into the middle of the vehicle, we can take a look at our current charge. 29% state of charge, says 75 miles of range remaining. So with the stock tires on, we were at 36%, with these all-terrains on. So this time we used 7% more compared to last time. And last time we used 54% of the battery, so what, 13% more energy used with the all-terrains than the standard tires. So what really matters is the total energy used to go the same distance between the 3 different tire and wheel setups. So stock tires, stock wheels on the Lariat, we used 54% of the battery to do that 160 mile loop. How about with the Platinum, Andre?
Platinum on 22s, 59% of battery was used. And what about all-terrain tires?
Back to the Lariat, same wheels, all-terrain tires. We used 61% of the battery. So by far the most efficient was Lariat stock tires. By far the least efficient was Lariat all-terrain tires.
And if you look at the energy used, the Platinum 22s took about 10% more energy to move the same distance, and all-terrain tires took about, 12% more energy. That's significant.
It sure is, and this was a great test. Let us know what you think, and head over to alltfl.com where you can find our entire Lightning video series all in one convenient spot.